Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, he's peeled off more prices than a family of shoplifters. From Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hello again, this is Jordan Malik, host of the Ask Jordan podcast. This is episode number 14. Thank you so much for listening. I do appreciate the fact that you folks listen and that you call in with your questions and the posting of the positive feedback that you've been doing. And we're climbing up the ranks in the iTunes podcast, and that's entirely because of you. So I am very appreciative. If you missed our previous podcast, we answer one question in every episode about selling on Amazon. You can listen to them all at askjordan.net. If you submit a question and I select it for this podcast, you'll hear your voice on the show, and you'll also receive 7 of my best-selling ebooks. All of them are about selling on eBay and Amazon. So find out in about a few minutes. I'll let you know exactly how you can do that. Today's question is from somebody, I believe his name is Darren. The audio is not too good, but it's about importing from China. Go ahead, Darren.
Hi, Jordan. My name is Devin Howenstein. I recently got into FBA a couple months ago, and I've been listening to your podcast, so a couple other startup podcasts out there. Been really helpful. My question for you is, I'm getting a little tired already of going into stores and scanning items. I mean, it's definitely not a hard job by any means, but I'd really like to up the game a little bit and get into either outsourcing from China or finding some sort of distribution center that I can just cut the middleman out with. I've been looking around on Odesk, and I really don't know what I'm doing trying to look for someone who's specializing in that. Do you have any tips in regards to outsourcing or hiring someone on Odesk? Thanks.
Darren, that's a great question. We'll talk about importing first. And there are generally a few things that I advise against. The problem that we've all faced as e-commerce sellers is that there's a lot of misinformation out there about importing from China and how it can be done. So if you do a Google search that says import goods from China, you're going to receive ads for, liquidation.com or Alibaba. There's a lot of glitz and sizzle and hype out there, but I've experimented with all of that for the most part, and it was a losing battle for me. I got ripped off about $500 from Alibaba a few years ago for an order I placed. It never, it materialized, but it wasn't what I ordered, and the supplier from China disappeared. I've tried to make money with liquidation.com. I've purchased programs that promise success in importing from China. And the reality is that there's a lot of misinformation out there, but we're all buying it because the misinformation is being peddled by people with some of the deepest pockets. Importing from China can be done. It can be done profitably. I'm going to tell you, give you a resource in a minute. But it's not as easy as just buying products and waiting for it to show up on your door. It's a little more complicated than that. But the people that actually pay attention to the way that it's supposed to be done are doing very well. Okay, so just avoid these things. My suggestion is to avoid buying anything from Alibaba. There are some exceptions to that, I'm sure, but in general, don't buy anything from Alibaba or AliExpress is their smaller website. I've learned recently that a lot of the credentials, when you see, like on Alibaba or AliExpress, when you see a supplier says gold supplier or platinum supplier, whatever, those are badges that they can actually purchase. So you can bet there's a bunch of Chinese suppliers that are making money hand over fist by posing as what looks like a credible company on Alibaba or AliExpress, and they're not. And I had that experience where I lost $500, or I think it was actually $1,000. Drop shipping tends to be very low margin. So when you start talking about importing or drop shipping items from China, everybody I hear, that's one of the biggest questions I get, most frequent questions I get from people is, I want to learn how to do drop shipping using Amazon. It's just, first of all, you cannot use your Amazon account to drop ship items. Or how do I express this differently? You cannot sell an item on Amazon that you don't have in hand. either at the warehouse or merchant fulfilled. So and generally, I think it's against the rules to use Amazon.com as a drop shipper themselves, where you're selling products on other sites and then use them. Actually, that's not true, because you can fulfill orders as a FBA seller. You can fulfill orders purchased from people who purchase things on other website properties of your own, like eBay. You can use Amazon to ship the order from the Amazon warehouse. That is possible. But in the traditional sense of drop shipping, I avoid that entirely, and many other experts that are honest feel the same way. I also encourage you not to purchase anything online that looks like a list. Somebody selling you a list of drop shippers, a list of wholesalers. Anything that looks too good to be true, it probably is. Now, my only recommendation, and by the way, before we get to that, remember that importing from China was a big part of the Amazing Selling Machine $4,000 course. $4,000 course is almost $4,000 to buy. The system called Amazing Selling Machine is closed now, but I was a vocal critic of that, saying that there's alternative courses if you want to learn how to sell on Amazon, not necessarily importing, but doing any sort of selling product on Amazon. There are cheaper alternatives than a $4,000 course. But there's a $50 ebook by an expert his name is Walter Hay. And he is like a 22-year veteran of honest importing goods from China and selling them online or in physical stores. And he sold off a franchise that grew out of that business. So he wrote an ebook very recently. He's updated it. It's called Import Direct from China and Many Other Countries. I purchased the ebook myself. It's $50, and it's at jordanmalik.com/China. That's my first and last name together, jordanmalik.com/China, CHINA, all lowercase. And I just bought the book recently, and so I'm learning about importing the right way. And it comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you buy the ebook, it's instantly downloadable after you buy it, and Walter offers a 60-day money-back guarantee. He actually has to, because it's on the platform that it's on that sells it, requires that he offers a 60-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. So there's no getting around that guarantee for him, and he is a very honest person. So if you're already a member of the Proven Amazon course, I don't know if you are, but people who are a member of the Proven Amazon course by Jim Cockrum, which is $247. You can get it by going to jordanmalik.com/course4. jordanmalik.com/course4. That's the number 4 at the end, all lowercase. jordanmalik.com/course4. $247 for lifetime access. The rumor is that Walter Hay's book is going to be part of that membership at either a discounted price or included. But I went ahead, and I'm a member of Proven Amazon course, and I couldn't wait. So I went ahead and I bought the ebook. And I'm learning a lot of very interesting things from this veteran, this expert, about importing. And one of the major things that stuck out to me is that he recommends getting a customs broker, not a product broker, somebody who's an experience in customs, because when you start dealing with larger priced orders, and there's loopholes around this, of course. If you're starting out, there's loopholes going around by not getting a customs broker. But he recommends getting a customs broker because he says in the end it's going to save you a lot of money. And the importing laws, depending on where you are in the country, depending on where you are in the world, the importing laws and taxes and excises and restrictions and paperwork is very cumbersome. And he knows all those laws, but he still hires a customs broker to do it for him because it's so time consuming. And an equivalent of that I think of is when I have other e-commerce sellers come to me who are just starting out and they say, Jordan, I don't want to get an accountant. I don't want to get a CPA. I don't want to pay them $15, $25 an hour. And my accountant, I'm very glad that I have her. She's a CPA. The new tax rules and deadlines, remember I'm dealing with state and federal taxes, and the laws and the deduction sizes, the the implications and the loopholes, etc. I'm not an accounting expert, but I'm not even even if I was an accountant, I knew a moderate amount of accounting. It's such a time suck, and I don't get the sellers that come to me and say, "Well, I'm just going to figure it out on my own." I mean, that's what do they say? A penny saved and a pound foolish, or whatever. So I'm glad that I have her, because that would take me literally weeks out of the year or months out of the year of time consumption to figure that stuff out. So he recommends getting a customs broker. And the book is fantastic. It tells you exactly how to import and how to stay organized with the procedure and exactly how to do it. It doesn't tell you what to sell. You've got to kind of figure that out on your own. He just simplifies the entire importing procedure so you don't get ripped off. That's essentially what this book is. It's 90 pages, and he simplifies and explains the importing and customs procedure and who to go to buy. Actually, he gives links of companies. They're not Alibaba. He gives links of the major honest players that are that have goods to sell in China that you can import. And I think it's fascinating reading. I do recommend you get it. It's at jordanmalik.com/China. Now, Devin, I forget if it's Devin or Darren. I think it's Darren. Darren, if you don't want to go the route of importing, you want to cut out a lot of your legwork, you said, in terms of finding products and finding products and then shipping them to Amazon. There's a course for you. I wouldn't be able to cover all of this in a podcast, but you can do that. And the expert who has done that, his name is Andy Du, and he has a course called Doable Premium Access. And he actually shows you step by step how to sell on Amazon, but how to outsource the major tasks. Like he hires virtual assistants from the Philippines at a very inexpensive rate, maybe up to $250 a month, $300 a month. They do his product sourcing online for him. So they will find products online. He's trained them to find products online that can be resold on Amazon for a profit. He gives you the training material as part of that course. I'm going to give you the link to his course in a minute. He also tells you how he has them, the methods that he used to have them purchase the goods without him giving their credit card information, and then having the shipments of the products that they find in the U.S. These are from major online stores in the U.S. He's trained them to ship their products to a pre-fulfillment warehouse, and that, of course, is an extra fee for somebody to do that. There's a pre-fulfillment warehouse in the U.S. that will act as you would act in terms of prepping your products after you receive them from the online store, prepping them for the fulfillment warehouse and shipping them to the fulfillment warehouse. So Andy does a lot of his traveling, and by the way, he does a lot of his traveling for free because he teaches you in a separate book. I don't know if you get it for free as part of his membership. If not, I think it's very inexpensive. Teaches you how he builds up points using cards, specific credit cards, to buy products for his business to resell, right? Inventory. He racks up all those points. He travels the world for free, and he's got everything outsourced. Brilliant guy for somebody who's 23 years old. He's already been to like 20 countries. So Andy's course that teaches you how to do that is at jordanmalik.com, JORDANMALIK, it's my first and last name together, /course2, all lowercase, COURSE2, the number 2, jordanmalik.com /course2. Make sure you type the number 2, not the word 2, course 2, after the slash. So it can be done. You can streamline, Darren, your systems and operating systems. You don't have to hire a virtual assistant. You can hire a neighbor. My wife and I get some of our grunt work, what I call grunt work. It's the elbow grease work that requires peeling stickers off of products or polybagging items that are in a bundle and packing them for shipping. We hired a neighbor for a reasonable rate to come do that for us, so my wife and I are freed up doing other things. And it can be done very easily. You can find local help and train them. Or if you're worried about people competing for you locally for products, and hire a virtual assistant to find you products online. And then the company that Andy refers to that does his pre-fulfillment is called My Inventory Team. They're a business partner of mine. They're in Tennessee, and they receive your bulk goods or the goods that you buy online. They'll receive them for you, and they'll prep them for the pre-fulfillment process. So you don't have to touch anything. You have the goods ordered by people you train, virtual assistants that you train. Andy gives you that material to hand off right to them to train them to look for products. They order the goods for you. It's shipped to the My Inventory Team warehouse in, I believe it's Tennessee. They prepare it for the fulfillment warehouse, the official Amazon fulfillment warehouse. You see nothing. It's your account, your existing seller account, and that's it. So I hope that helped you, Darren. Darren, you get 7 of my best-selling ebooks because I selected your question. Please contact me at askjordan.net. Scroll down. Don't scroll down. Look for the envelope icon near the upper right-hand corner of the page under where it says Contact Me. And Darren, send me an email so I know where to send you the 7 ebooks. All 7 ebooks are valued over $75. And if you have a question, you being the Amazon seller, you can be like Darren. Submit your question. If I select it, you can hear your voice on my podcast. You can do that by going to askjordan.net. Follow the directions there, or call 516-619-ONLINE. That's 516-619-6654. Again, if I pick your question to answer, you'll hear your voice on my podcast, plus you'll get 7 of my best-selling ebooks. Total price for everyone is over $75. While you're there at AskJordan.net, please subscribe to my newsletter. Scroll down on the right-hand side. You'll see the sign-up box. It gives away a ton of ideas, strategies, and examples of what to sell on Amazon and eBay. Hey, thanks for listening to the Ask Jordan podcast. We'll see you again in our next episode.